Pleasure to welcome you all here in Zagreb at the EPP Statutory Congress. I am glad that the EPP accepted the invitation of the Croatian Democratic Union, the largest political force in Croatia, in the year when we celebrate our 30th anniversary. Allow me now to switch to Croatian. Prije 3 desetljeća nakon pada Berlinskog zida i u vremenu rušenja komunističkih sustava, HDZ je na čelu s našim prvim predsjednikom, doktorom Franjom Tuđmanom, poveo hrvatski narod prema slobodi, demokraciji, suverenosti i samostalnosti. Hrvatske vlade pod vodstvom HDZ-a izborile su međunarodno priznanje, osigurale obranu i oslobođenje okupiranih područja. Hrvatska demokratska zajednica imala je ključnu ulogu u ostvarivanju članstva u Sjevernoatlantskom savezu i u Evropskoj uniji, a sve uz potporu Europske pučke stranke. Zanimljivo je da je Hrvatska demokratska zajednica jedna od rijetkih stranaka nastalih u vremenu tranzicije koja je i danas, kao i prije 30 godina, dominantna politička snaga u hrvatskom društvu. Čvrsto usidreni na desnom centru, narodnjačka smo stranka koja promiče domoljublje, demokršćanske, obiteljske i univerzalne humanističke vrijednosti, a suprotstavlja se demagogiji i isključivosti. Drago mi je što će vam se večeras obratiti i predsjednica Republike, Kolinda Grabar-Kitarović, koja kao kandidatkinja HDZ-a ide po još jednu pobjedu na izborima u prosincu ove godine. Snagu HDZ-a pokazuje činjenica da predvodimo Hrvatsku, da imamo podršku na nacionalnoj razini, te da vodimo polovicu svih jedinica lokalne i područne samouprave. Dame i gospodo, Hrvatska je prije 3 desetljeća bila među razvijenim zemljama Srednje Europe. Nažalost, zbog rata i njegovih posljedica, Hrvatska je članicom Evropske unije postala tek 2013. godine. Danas je Hrvatska obnovljena i njezini gospodarski pokazatelji su najbolji od osamostaljenja. Zemlja je u koju se sve više ulaže i koja razvija inovativne industrije. Zemlja je kojoj članstvo u Europskoj uniji daje snažan zamah u ravnomjernom regionalnom razvoju. Zemlja je bogate kulturne baštine, iznimnih sportskih uspjeha koju svake godine posjećuje 20 milijuna turista. Istodobno, kao i polovica članica Europske unije, suočavamo se s demografskim izazovima koji su posljedica starenja stanovništva i slobode kretanja ljudi. Imamo rekordan broj zaposlenih i rekordnu brojku nezaposlenih, nisko nezaposlenih od neovisnosti. Proeuropska smo i reformska vlada koja smanjuje poreze i rasterećuje gospodarstvo, te podiže plaće i mirovine. Naše gospodarstvo raste po stopi od 3% na zdravim temeljima uz ubrzano smanjenje javnoga duga. Imamo uravnotežen proračun bez prekomjernih makroekonomskih neravnoteža, a vratili smo i investicijski kreditni rejting. Ulazak u europodručje i schengenski prostor naša su strateška opredjeljenja jer želimo da Hrvatska postane dijelom najužeg kruga europske integracije. A za malo više od mjesec dana Hrvatska će preuzeti predsjedanje Europskom unijom, a o našim ću prioritetima više govoriti sutra. Dear friends, almost 6 months after the European elections and just at the beginning of a new institutional and legislative cycle in the European Union, the EPP Congress comes at a perfect time to elect our new leadership. Cher Joseph, je souhaiterais à cette occasion de te rendre hommage pour le travail remarquable que tu as accompli à la tête du PPE. Au cours de ces 6 années, tu as incarné la responsabilité qui incombe à la plus influente des familles politiques européennes. Ta grande expérience politique, ton leadership, ton sens du dialogue et du consensus ont été des atouts pour l'unité de notre famille. Et je t'en remercie sincèrement. Nous avons été nombreux à apprécier les grandes qualités humaines, ton intégrité, ta franchise, ton attachement à nos valeurs et à nos principes, mais aussi ta disponibilité. Tu as toujours été un ami fidèle de la Croatie et de notre chemin européen. L'empreinte que tu laisses au sein du PPE nous oblige. Tes résultats sont de solides fondations sur lesquelles nous continuerons à consolider et à bâtir un parti populaire européen encore plus fort pour répondre aux défis du XXIe siècle. Mais bien que tu quittes la direction du PPE, je ne te dis pas au revoir, car je sais que nous pourrons toujours compter sur tes bons conseils et ton amitié. Merci encore, cher Joseph. Dear friends, I would also like to seize this opportunity to pay tribute to Jean-Claude Juncker, another close friend of Croatia who unfortunately was not able to join us for health reasons, and to thank him for all what he did for Europe and the EPP throughout his political career. Please, one applause for Jean-Claude. With the new Commission and the new European Parliament in place, this is also the right time to discuss our policies, strategy and direction of the EPP. The HDZ proposed 2 resolutions, one on the Western Balkans and enlargement, in order to correct the injustice done to North Macedonia and Albania, and the second one to address the challenges of demographic revitalization, which is the core issue for many of our nations. I firmly believe that it is possible to maintain voters' confidence with a clear European platform, future-oriented policies, and a balanced development of all parts of Europe. Again, I wish you a warm welcome to Zagreb. I hope in all our decisions we bear in mind the benefits for our citizens and our peoples. Their support is the source of our success, and our success is success for Europe. Thank you. Dobrodošli I uživajte u Hrvatskoj.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to introduce a man whose political path testifies his attachment to the EPP values. He's a native of Alsace, a region that symbolizes reconciliation between France and Germany, which paved the way to the EU integration. A farmer and a former mayor, a former chairman of the EPP group in the European Parliament, who left this role to become a full-time president of EPP. Please welcome the President of the European People's Party, Joseph Daul.
cher Premier ministre Plenković, cher président Tusk, cher président Santer, cher président Schäuble, mon voisin alsacien. Cher président, cher Premier ministre, chers commissaires, chers ministres, chers membres du Parlement, chers délégués, chers invités, mesdames et messieurs, chers amis, draghi priatelli, c'est un plaisir de vous voir réunis ici à Zagreb pour le 26e congrès du PPE. Je voudrais tout d'abord remercier HTZ et le Premier ministre Andrej Plenković pour leur hospitalité et leur précieuse collaboration dans l'organisation de ce congrès. Si nous avons choisi Zagreb, mes chers amis, c'est pour vous témoigner notre amitié en ce moment si important pour vous. Vous allez bientôt assumer pour la première fois la présidence du Conseil de l'Union européenne, une importante vitrine internationale pour votre pays, avec l'expérience et la renommée du Premier ministre Plenković, de la présidente Grabar-Kitarović, vous avez toute la carte en main pour vous présenter et préparer à ce rendez-vous. C'est donc pour le bien de la Croatie et pas seulement du PPE que je souhaite à Kolinda une nouvelle victoire aux élections présidentielles en décembre. Cher André, on dit que la fortune sourit aux audacieux. Tu as fait preuve de beaucoup de courage en quittant le Parlement européen pour l'aventure bien plus risquée de la politique nationale. Et les fruits de tes efforts n'ont pas tardé. 2 mois après avoir assumé la présidence de HDZ, tu l'as menée à une victoire inattendue aux élections législatives. Depuis, la Croatie bénéficie d'une croissance record des finances publiques solides et de hausses de salaire. Cela a profité à tes concitoyens, mais aussi à l'image de ton pays, qui est maintenant en bonne route pour adopter l'euro et adhérer à l'espace Schengen. Notre chère Dubravka sera vice-présidente dans la nouvelle commission en charge des questions cruciales comme la démocratie et la démographie. Et comment oublier l'élection par une marche surprenante de l'ancienne ministre HDZ Marija Burić comme secrétaire général du Conseil de l'Europe. HDZ est devenu synonyme de succès en Europe et la Croatie est un exemple pour tous les pays de la région. Je pense donc que ce congrès s'ouvre sous des bons auspices ici à Zagreb. Mes amis, ce congrès est également l'occasion de fêter notre victoire aux élections européennes. Nous avons conservé la place de premier groupe au Parlement avec notre ami Manfred Weber, ainsi que la présidence de la Commission avec Ursula von der Leyen et Christine Lagarde, le PPE a amené pour la première fois des femmes à la tête des 2 principales institutions européennes. Et la hausse de la participation montre que nos concitoyens s'intéressent aux élections européennes lorsqu'ils en saisissent l'enjeu. Pourtant, nous avons encore une fois perdu des sièges. Bien que la mobilisation sans précédent des jeunes électeurs, 14 points de plus que lors des dernières élections, soit motif de satisfaction, force est de constater que cela n'a pas profité au PPE. Même si les extrêmes n'ont pas obtenu des résultats qu'ils espéraient, ils continuent à attirer bien trop de voix. Et de plus, les dernières années ont vu l'émergence d'un nouveau type de populisme, le populisme vert. Or, nous, mes amis, nous sommes le seul antidote efficace contre les populistes. Nous n'attisons pas les peurs et les ressentiments, mais nous les transformons en espoir. Nous n'offrons pas des slogans vides, mais des solutions concrètes. Nous ne fuyons pas nos responsabilités, mais les assumons avec courage. Et cela finit par payer. Andrej Plenković et Kyriakos Mitsotakis, plus récemment, ont montré que l'on peut gagner les élections avec un programme de réforme clair et surtout pro-européen en disant la vérité aux gens. Nous avons donc la bonne recette pour gagner, mais nous devons l'adapter aux défis d'aujourd'hui et de demain. En commençant par la lutte contre le changement climatique. Nous n'avons rien à apprendre des Verts sur ce terrain. Nous n'avons certainement pas attendu les manifestations de cet été pour nous préoccuper de l'état de la planète et que nous allons léguer à nos enfants. C'est dans notre ADN de chrétiens démocrates. Le PPE a été à l'origine de la création du marché européen de carbone et de la conférence de Bonn de 2009 à l'accord de Paris à 2015. Nous avons toujours été à la tête de l'action européenne en matière de climat. Et aujourd'hui, face à des preuves scientifiques de plus en plus alarmantes et pour répondre aux inquiétudes croissantes des Européens, nous devons redoubler d'efforts. Mais nous devons aussi être honnêtes avec les gens. La politique verte a un coût. Chacun doit prendre ses responsabilités pour éviter que le poids de nos décisions pèse de façon disproportionnelle sur les épaules des plus faibles. Entre les utopies vertes et la folie des négationnistes, nous offrons des solutions concrètes, fondées sur l'économie sociale de marché, la recherche, l'innovation, pour protéger l'environnement et en même temps que les emplois et la compétitivité de nos entreprises. Notre résolution sur le changement climatique n'en est que le dernier exemple. Mes amis, les Européens ne s'inquiètent pas seulement pour l'avenir de la planète, mais pour leur propre avenir aussi, pour celui de leur emploi, de leur salaire et de leur retraite. Et là, nous pouvons être fiers de ce que nous avons accompli sous la commission Juncker. Et je m'associe à notre ami Andrej Plenković avec une pensée toute particulière. Nous l'avons déjà fait 2 fois hier, en pensant à Jean-Claude qui a dû subir une opération. Et bien sûr, comme vous l'avez applaudi avant, je lui souhaiterai tout le prompt rétablissement le plus rapidement possible, que Jean-Claude, nous puissions le revoir dans notre famille du PPE. Nous avons renoué avec la croissance après la crise la plus grave de notre histoire. Grâce au plan Juncker, lancé par le vice-président Katainen, il a été possible de mobiliser 440 milliards d'euros d'investissements qui ont profité à plus d'1 million de start-up et PME. 14 millions d'emplois ont été créés et il aura fallu attendre une commissaire PPE, Marianne Thyssen, pour enfin avancer sur le social. Pourtant, si les sirènes populistes continuent à exercer leurs attraits, c'est parce que certains Européens continuent à se sentir démunis face aux défis que posent le changement démographique, la mondialisation, la révolution numérique ou l'intelligence artificielle. Mais la réponse à leurs craintes ne peut pas venir de dépenses publiques inconsidérées. Nous devons investir dans la recherche, l'innovation, l'éducation, les nouvelles compétences afin de permettre à tous nos citoyens de tirer pleinement bénéfice des évolutions en cours. Et je ne parle pas uniquement des jeunes au chômage ou fuyant leur pays faute de perspectives économiques. Je parle également des seniors, souvent désemparés face aux bouleversements en cours. Nos jeunes du IEP et de l'ESU nous montrent l'exemple. La solidarité entre les générations est une condition nécessaire à toute solution durable. Je me dois évidemment de mentionner aussi nos agriculteurs. Seule une PAC ambitieuse, bien financée et tournée vers l'avenir, qui promeut les nouvelles technologies, une agriculture intelligente pourra assurer l'avenir de ce secteur si crucial pour notre bien-être et surtout pour notre sécurité alimentaire. Schließlich sorgen sich die Europäer auch ihre Sicherheit. Terrorismus, organisiertes Verbrechen und Migration bleiben daher vorrangige Themen. Dank unserer Bemühungen wird die neue Kommission ihr Amt in einem ganz anderen Kontext als in der Vergangenheit antreten. Besonders im Bereich der Einwanderung haben wir die Zahl der illegalen Ankünfte gegenüber dem Hochstand von 2015 um 90% gesenkt. Wir sprechen nicht genug über die 650 in Griechenland eingesetzte Frontex-Agenten, und das reicht immer noch nicht. Doch was ist ein besseres Beispiel für die europäische Solidarität? Der Schutz unserer Grenze hat weiterhin Priorität, während Solidarität mit echten Flüchtlingen unsere christliche Pflicht ist, haben wir auch eine Verantwortung gegenüber unseren eigenen Mitbürgern. Wir müssen daher die rasche Rückkehr illegaler Wirtschaftsmigranten sicherstellen. Dies muss von einer wirksamen Integrationspolitik und einer gemeinsamen Asylpolitik begleitet werden. Und ich freue mich, dass sich die gewählte Präsidentin von der Leyen bereits dazu verpflichtet hat. Aber wir können uns auch nicht aus dem Krisenmanagement beschränken. Wir müssen proaktiv handeln. Ein Marshallplan für und mit Afrika, den Präsident Tajani seit Jahren verteidigt, ist notwendig, um potenziellen Migranten eine bessere Zukunft bei sich zu Hause zu ermöglichen. Daneben müssen wir uns mit den anderen Ursachen der Migration befassen: Klimawandel, Konflikte, Instabilität in unserer Nachbarschaft. Das bringt nicht zu meinem nächsten Punkt. Wir brauchen ein stärkeres, ein geeintes Europa, das seinen Platz auf den internationalen Bühnen sichern kann. Denn keines unserer Länder kann sich allein grenzüberschreitende Herausforderungen stellen. Kriege und Terrorismus, aber auch Globalisierung, Energie und Nahrungsmittelunabhängigkeit oder Schutz der europäischen Werte. Heute sind wir gelähmt durch unsere Spaltung. Wir werden in die Zwangen genommen von den imperialistischen Ambitionen Russland und China und werden auch unsere Wirtschaftspolitik gefährden. Zwei Giganten mit einer klaren Vision und dem Vorteil, dass sie ihre Entscheidung nicht vor ihrer Bürger rechtfertigen müssen. Wir brauchen eine strategische Vision, die alle uns zur Verfügung stehenden Instrumente nutzt und unsere Bürger, unsere Unternehmer, unsere Werte und unserem Interesse zu schützen. Wie Bundeskanzlerin Merkel sagte, Europa muss sein Schicksal selbst in die Hand nehmen. Et d'abord, nous devons assumer notre rôle dans le voisinage. Puisque nous sommes en Croatie, nous allons dédier une attention particulière aux Balkans occidentaux. Ces pays, mes chers amis, vous le savez, sont déjà à l'intérieur des frontières de l'UE. Et comme le rappelle toujours le commissaire Hahn, si nous n'y exportons pas la stabilité, nous allons importer leur instabilité. Mettre en place un État de droit abouti, assurer l'indépendance de la justice et lutter contre la corruption n'est pas seulement dans l'intérêt de ces pays, c'est aussi dans notre propre intérêt. Ne pas ouvrir les négociations avec l'Albanie et surtout la Macédoine du Nord a été une erreur stratégique. En montrant notre indécision, nos divisions et en revenant sur nos promesses, nous perdons notre crédibilité, notre influence dans la région et nous laissons la porte ouverte à la Russie, la Chine, la Turquie et les pays du Golfe. Et nous en paierons le prix fort. À côté des Balkans, nous ne pouvons toutefois pas oublier les pays du partenariat oriental. C'est une initiative PPE, confrontée à l'agressivité aux ingérences russes, ni du pourtour méditerranéen, alliés cruciaux dans la maîtrise du flux migratoire et la lutte contre le terrorisme, mais également partenaires politiques et culturels et débouchés naturels pour nos entreprises. Enfin, le PPE doit continuer à promouvoir une politique de défense européenne et les récents événements en Syrie ont une fois de plus montré que tant que nous n'aurons pas réalisé une véritable union de la défense, nous ne saurons pas défendre nos intérêts et nos valeurs. Mais pas sans l'OTAN. Même si l'attitude des États-Unis a changé, nous restons liés par de profonds liens, partageons les mêmes valeurs et faisons face aux mêmes défis. Et grâce au travail de la Commission Juncker, nous nous sommes dotés des instruments et des moyens nécessaires. Maintenant, il faut la volonté politique d'aller de l'avant, concrétiser les engagements pris et l'expérience d'Ursula von der Leyen dans la matière sera sûrement un atout fondamental. Mes amis, nous avons des priorités ambitieuses. Nous devons donc nous doter d'un budget européen tout aussi ambitieux. Le PPE était prêt. Nous avions présenté des propositions concrètes pour continuer à assumer les financements dont ont besoin nos entreprises, nos agriculteurs, nos chercheurs ou nos étudiants. Malheureusement, nous avons fait face aux réticences de plusieurs pays membres, dont je le regrette, le mien. Nous devons maintenant avancer de façon résolue pour aboutir rapidement à un budget qui assure la continuité des politiques actuelles tout en anticipant les défis du futur, qui donne de la clarté à nos citoyens et à nos entreprises et dans lequel chaque dépense contribue à améliorer la vie de nos citoyens. Je n'ai pas encore mentionné le Brexit, mais j'ai vu Michel Barnier. Bonjour Michel. Ce n'est pas juste pour la lassitude générée par cette saga sans fin c'est surtout parce que je refuse de laisser le débat être monopolisé par ceux-là. Nous avons négocié en bonne foi, tout en protégeant évidemment les intérêts de nos concitoyens. Nous te devons beaucoup cela, Michel. Merci à toi et à Donald Tusk qui ont su préserver l'unité des 27. Et lorsque le gouvernement britannique décidera enfin, peut-être, de ce qu'il veut, nous pourrons bâtir la relation la plus étroite possible avec cet important partenaire. Mais notre priorité doit continuer à être d'assurer l'avenir des Européens. La nouvelle Commission, sous la présidente élue von der Leyen, s'y est déjà engagée. Je fais totalement confiance à nos députés européens, au nouveau président, à la nouvelle présidente du PPE pour la soutenir dans ses efforts et continuer à faire avancer cette Europe que le PPE a bâtie pierre après pierre avec nos responsables PPE. Merci de m'avoir écouté.
Our next speaker is a long-time defender of unity in our EPP family. His firm belief in a loyal relationship of trust with all of you is evident in his direct and open style. Ladies and gentlemen, a member of the European Parliament and since 2002, our Secretary General, Antonio López Istúriz.
Cher Youssef, Sir Maria-Thérèse,
Dear Joseph,
welcome to our 26th Congress. First of all, I would like to thank our Croatian hosts, HDZ. We know that you are now in the last phase of intense preparations ahead of the Croatian EU presidency. Also, in a month, the presidential elections will take place. But even in such busy times, you managed to dedicate time to our EPP family and to host this amazing Congress. Thank you, Andrei Plenković. Thank you, HDZ, and all our friends that they're making all this possible, and best wishes for the upcoming elections. Thanks also to our amazing EPP team. It was a very long year after Helsinki. We didn't have any time to spare, but once again, our small but dedicated team has delivered. And I am very proud of every single member of our staff for finding the strength to set the bar higher one time more. In this electoral Congress, if you have to praise anyone, please praise the EPP staff. And if you have any critic, please, I am the one. You know, it's in my job description. We are innovating once again. If organizing the election of a new presidency was not hard enough, we decided not to miss the opportunity to invite all of you to share your thoughts on some of the most pressing challenges facing Europe. Under the heading, One Europe, Our Planet, Your Party, we want to hear your opinion. In this Congress, we will have two plenary debates. Today, we will engage in a discussion on a common challenge and responsibilities we share in the Western Balkans, where we are here in the heart of them, in Zagreb. And tomorrow we will reflect on the role of the EU in the international climate debate. You asked for that. Meanwhile, as always, we, in collaboration with our EPP group in the European Parliament, our EPP group in the Committee of the Regions, our EPP associations and the Wilfried Martens Centre, we will offer you an exciting side programme. It will be a great opportunity for reflection, exchange, learning, and for initiating a new and exciting political cycle in the history of our party. Dear friends, today we say goodbye to our dear President Joseph Daul. Today we say goodbye to a friend. Yesterday I said this clearly in our political assembly. Joseph Daul has shown us that there can be human side to politics. I know that our staff will miss him, like the staff of the group did in the past, because he has listened with the same care and the same respect prime ministers and staff members. He continued with the work of Wilfried Martens at the beginning, but then he realized in his pragmatic approach to things that there was a need for a better cooperation between the party and its groups in the European Parliament, in the Council of Europe, in NATO and our Parliamentary Assembly in OSCE. He also understood that there was a need for a better human coordination among all of us. And he has done so with the same enthusiasm as he has participated in most of your political events all around Europe. Finally, he also understood the need for the EPP to be the beacon of hope for many countries who want to share with us our European dream. His commitment to Bosnia, Moldavia, Georgia, Armenia, Ukraine, North Macedonia, Albania has kept the loyalty of member parties of these countries to us, especially here, where the biggest challenge for the European Parliament is in the Western Balkans. We all know, if he is elected, that the next president of the EPP will keep his commitment with full strength. As Donald Tusk has said in his speech in the College of Europe some days ago, there will be no sovereign Europe without a stable Balkans integrated with the rest of the continent. And you don't need to be a historian to understand this. Dear friends, today we have before us a historical opportunity. We have the possibility to elect a leader with great political experience, both at national and European levels, and proven commitment to our EPP values. A man who fought the oppression of communism and truly understands the value of freedom. A man who I'm sure will put once more all his energy at the service of democracy and of building more united Europe. We should not miss this opportunity. Dear friends, as you know, for years I have been supporting the expansion of EPP membership, especially in Central and Eastern Europe. Sometimes at a personal and political cost. I remember back in the day when I was criticized by self-proclaimed experts and bureaucrats for supporting the membership of parties like GERB in Bulgaria or PNL in Romania. I was then accused of undermining the Christian democratic values. I wonder where these critics are now when we all see how much GERB and PNL in Romania are doing to defend our Christian democratic values in Europe. A couple of weeks ago, we rejoiced at the fantastic news that came from Romania. PNL, led by our friend Ludovic Orban, managed to free Romania from the corrupt regime of Viorica Dăncilă, the tragic puppet of Liviu Dragnea. And this Sunday, Klaus Iohannis will defeat the socialists once and for all by winning again the presidential elections in Romania. In fact, this has been a year of great victories. Let's not forget the triumph of Kyriakos Mitsotakis, who freed Greece from the disaster called Tsipras. The leading position of Sebastian Kurz in Austria's snap election. And how could I not mention our victory in the European elections? Because we won in the month of May. I have a special message for the experts in futurology who predicted with certainty that the EPP would lose the European elections. You have no idea how much I enjoy looking at your shocked faces. I pity your sadness, but European voters do not. Europeans once again put their trust in the only stable, reasonable and effective political force in the European Union, us, the EPP. Dear friends, I know you are tired of being attacked by everybody, by the so-called progressives, by the extreme right, by the extreme left. Good news is that the European citizens know who they can really trust when voting. We won the European elections and we secured what was ours, the presidency of the European Commission, against all odds, because there is a majority out there who looks for responsible and reasonable leadership. Eventually, all the masks fall off. Look at my own country, Spain. Pablo Casado, a reasonable and respected leader, is facing, like all of your countries, alone a desperate socialist government, capable of joining forces with the anti-European extreme left. Sorry, let's call it by real name. Communists, who hate the idea of a united Europe. Ladies and gentlemen, socialism in Europe is seeing the end of the story. They are incapable of producing stable governments in Europe. This is as true in Spain as is in all European countries. Unfortunately, reasonable leaders these days are hard to find. People like Jean-Claude Juncker, Angela Merkel, Michel Barnier, Donald Tusk are rare breed. Politicians with a sense of responsibility. Politicians who faced even with the most unreasonable interlocutors managed to keep our side united. For the very first time in centuries, British strategy has not succeeded in dividing Europe. I hope that one day the historic contribution of these leaders, these EPP leaders, will be recognized by future generations of Europeans. I also hope that history books will one day recognize that the EPP was the only party to be truly committed to increase democracy in Europe. And here, let me be clear. We will not give up on the Spitzenkandidat. Whereas the socialists and the so-called Renaissantists quickly betrayed this principle when it was clear they would lose the elections, I am proud to say that our political family saw the bigger picture, stuck to its principles, and fought for the process and its lead candidate. In 2014, Michel Barnier, as the gentleman he is, knew how to accept victory of Jean-Claude Juncker at our he is, not only accepted the verdict of the European Council, but also offered his full support to Ursula von der Leyen. It takes great courage and statesmanship to do so. Meanwhile, Timmermans and the European socialists are choosing the path of confrontation, as we have seen recently during the auditions for commissioners. It is for these reasons that I am convinced that it is up to the EPP to lead the way. It is up to us to build and to improve the Spitzenkandidat process. If the bureaucrats think they have won the battle, they are wrong. The battle to give more power to the European citizens to decide, the future of Europe has only started. Dear friends, as we kickstart a new cycle in the European project, and inside our party, I feel optimistic. There is, of course, a lot of work to be done. But as I see the list of candidates for vice presidents that you are now listening, I can only say that we are in the best hands to lead Europe again. Dear friends, to conclude my intervention, I would like to bring to the Congress part of the discussion we had yesterday on our political assembly. Prime Minister Plenković mentioned the demographic challenge faced by Croatia. That is indeed a huge challenge for many European countries. Our President Daul also mentioned concerns about the mistake made by Macron in the accession talks with Albania and North Macedonia. True, Mr. Macron made a huge mistake, a huge miscalculation with very negative repercussions for the citizens in that region, in this region, and for the EU citizens. These are two very important examples that reminds us why we are here. We are here because we are the People's Party. Our mission is to serve the people, not to be a Brussels-based bureaucratic organization. Our decisions affect countries, regions, cities, families, real people. We should never forget this. But as long as we remain true to ourselves and live up to our mission through our actions, I'm positive that millions of Europeans will keep trusting the EPP and honouring us with their votes again. Thank you very much.
Please welcome back to the stage EPP President Joseph Daul, who will perform the honors in conferring the EPP Merit Award.
Mesdames et messieurs, chers amis,
Ladies and gentlemen, dear friends, Wolfgang, the moment has come to award the EPP Merit Prize 2019. With this prize that rewards people who have contributed in an exceptional manner to promoting the EPP, its values and its principles, today we would like to pay tribute to one of the most experienced politicians in our political family, President of the German Parliament, the former President of the CDU, and a politician who has been minister on several occasions, our dear friend Wolfgang Schäuble, dedicated to our political family since his childhood when, together with his father and his elder brother, he put up CDU campaign posters, and he entered the Bundestag in 1972 and has never left since. Minister of the Interior in the period of the fall of the Berlin Wall. He, together with Helmut Kohl, was the main architect of German reunification. It was he, in fact, who negotiated and signed the Unification Treaty. But, just like the Chancellor at the time, he knew that that needed to go hand in hand with a European integration, and that the engine for this integration needed to be the Franco-German partnership. Coming from the Black Forest region, very close to my home, Alsace, he strongly believed in the friendship between our two countries. And later, when he left the position of Minister of Finance after 8 years, the German budget was healthier and more solid than ever before. He even thought about the future, providing for an increase in defence spending in Germany necessary to lance a true European defence. Dear Wolfgang, the EPP and the European Union have a lot to thank you for. Together with my predecessor, the President Wilfried Martens, you, in 2002 at the Congress in Estoril, presented a document on a charter for a strong Europe. This was a visionary text in which important reforms were endorsed in order to make Europe more democratic and bring it closer to the people. This text also allowed us to represent a strong position at the Convention on the Future of Europe. Several years later, this then led to the procedure of the Spitzencandidate. Then the Euro crisis arrived, and unpopular and difficult decisions were necessary in order to put out the fire that could have brought our European foundations to the ground. We couldn't have found a better fireman than you, my dear friend, a fireman who was prepared to do what was necessary to defend the single currency and the future of Europe and its citizens, even if the price to pay was a drop in popularity. That is also part of the EPP responsibility. When facing the crisis, we then found the courage to introduce the far-reaching reforms in the Eurozone that you had called for from the very beginning. But precisely today, when threatening clouds are once again gathering, and I consider you one of my friends, such a wonderful European politician like you, somebody who is true to our Christian democratic values, to our political family and our European project, somebody who is a passionate defender of the economic and political integration of Europe, of free trade based on rules, and an economic and political clairvoyance. I am therefore very honoured to hand over to you personally the EPP Merit Prize 2019. It is a statuette of the Belgian artist Annie de Smet, and because of its minimalism, it symbolises the essence of human spirit. Congratulations, my friend, and I'd now like to give the floor to you. You can see the statuette next to you.
Lieber Josef Daul, liebe Freunde der Europäischen Union.
Dear Joseph Daul, dear friends of the European People's Party, I am deeply moved to receive this great honour of the EPP Merit Award. I was born in a time, the worst time of the German history, in the Second World War. And I grew up in a time in which my country, thanks to the friendship and the trust of our neighbours and our European friends, was able to come back to being a democracy. I was invited by the European Parliament in the past week on the occasion of the 30-year celebration of the fall of the European Wall in Germany in Berlin to take part in a meeting in the European Parliament. 30 years ago, in a country that was divided since the end of the Second World War, the country was reunified, and Germany was only able to uphold this reunification because we became European. And if we hadn't wanted to be Europeans, my country would never again have achieved its freedom. And the fact that we are members of the EPP, and for many years now, in many other countries in Europe, there we have also been able to uphold the principles of democracy, market economy, social equality, and all of that has been able to be done because of we are members of the EPP and because of the policies of the EPP, as Joseph Daul has outlined. Dear friends, today our model is facing dual pressure from everywhere, from all sides. We are being threatened by populism and extremism, both from the left and from the right, and we have to fight against that. We know that most of our citizens are in favour of the rule of law, are in favour of democracy, are in favour of economic and ecological sustainability, and they want to fight for that. That's from the inside. And from the outside, we're facing the pressure that the changes of across the world in digitalization in many areas mean that Europe could become irrelevant. But if we, as Europeans, if we fight for the values of social market, economy, sustainability, democracy, if we want to uphold all of these values, then we have to do it together. And if we, as Europeans, can't do it, then nobody else in the world will be able to do it successfully. And that's why it is our European duty in the 21st century to be a strong EPP and to be strong representatives, upholders of our values in Europe and around the world. And we can only do that if we stick together. And everybody has their own share of the responsibility. Joseph Daul, as the president of the EPP group in the European Parliament, has experienced more than anybody else. And that's why I am so happy to be here, present at his last Congress of as the EPP president, and to receive this honor. Joseph Daul, I am proud of you, and I'm so happy that I've been your friend for so many years. Last Sunday, I was invited to Prague on the commemoration of the 30 years of the revolution. I was invited to speak there, and there I remembered that in the citizens' movement, it was said that who, if not us, and when, if not now? Dear friends, in the world we currently live in 2019, with all of the crises and the huge challenges we are facing, we, as the European People's Party, have to once again say who, if not us, and when, if not now. And so I now wish the EPP the best future possible. Thank you very much.
Die nehmen das mit. Das ist Kunst.
Immer schön.
Ja, danke.
Alla. Merci beaucoup. Und die Kanzlerin soll den Termin vergessen.
Please welcome our candidate for the EPP president. He's a former Polish prime minister, co-founder and a former chairman of the Civic Platform. Ladies and gentlemen, the president of the European Council, Donald Tusk.
Dear friends,
I would like to begin with a few words of thanks. First and foremost, let me thank all the delegates and participants of our Congress for their great work, courage and determination which you have demonstrated throughout this year since our meeting in Helsinki. Despite the current trends, negative predictions and efforts by our opponents, we again won the elections to the European Parliament. And don't let anyone tell you that those who won are losers, which is what our competitors and, unfortunately, our malcontents like to repeat. It could have been better, someone may say. My dear friends, it can always be better. And this is why we are here today. But nobody will stop us from feeling proud and from walking with our heads held high. I would also like to thank our President for the 6 years of leading our family through really tough times. Dear Joseph, it will be very difficult to replace you. You did an excellent job. You gave us all a feeling of safety and a meaning to our actions. You were a true leader of our community. Let me also thank you for your trust. It was you who, more than a year ago, came to me with the suggestion that I become your successor. And you took such good care of this idea that I am the only candidate. This is another example of your extraordinary effectiveness, Joseph. Thank you. And so here I am at your disposal. Yes, it is true that I am a little younger than Joseph, but let's not pretend that my candidacy is a generational revolution. After all, I've been with you for more than 25 years. You know my good and bad sides. So there's no need to bore you with introducing myself. You also know that I am usually brief, to the point and frank. Perhaps sometimes too frank, but I cannot act any other way, and I don't intend to. Since I am the only candidate, I will not pretend to be leading an election campaign, which would force me to present opinions on every subject and answer precisely to every expectation from a long wish list. So please allow me today to focus on only one and, in my opinion, most important challenge for our political family. Until recently, many of us thought that with the rise of modernity, such needs as security and identity would lose their significance, and that as a consequence, the role and tasks of the state and public authority would also change. But the reality turned out to be quite different. Today, even more than in the past, it is fear that plays the biggest role in politics. Most people still care more about their safety than about anything else. For example, in such moments as the migration crisis and a new wave of terrorism, it is fear which dominates over other social emotions. Give us a sense of safety and security. This is what we have been hearing in Europe in the last years, and whoever can best respond to this call gets the support of the public. In times of uncertainty, and most probably there will be no other times, when everything changes around us and runs off in all directions, people want to be certain that those in power will not abandon them, that they will not turn their backs on them. When left alone, they start looking for those who offer care and concentration on their problems. They desire attention. Look at us, they seem to say. We are here. They, or should I say, we all are hungry for appreciation, dignity, and importance. And we all feel the need to be part of a bigger community and to be proud of it. This is why it is so easy to win people's hearts by those who shout in a loud voice, "Get up off your knees, make your country great again, take back control." In other words, those who strike the right chord, the chord of dignity, will get people's votes. As always, people have a need for order, harmony, and understanding the world around them. That is why we all need to be deeply rooted in our traditions, understandable cultural codes, and in places we call ours, and which are somehow distinctive from others. As I have already said, people also want to be part of a bigger community with which they know how to identify through language, religion, or a common understanding of history. And most often, it is still a nation that is such a community. Whoever rejects from his political vocabulary and axiology terms such as homeland, Heimat, domowina, patria, ojczyzna, that will find that it is very difficult to face up to the crucial task, that of giving people the sense of safety and security. Under no condition can we abdicate from this task. It is in fact encoded in the genes of Christian democracy. And it is not a coincidence that one of the most important Christian democratic schools of thought was the so-called ordoliberalism, which built a difficult but possible synthesis of freedom, order, and tradition. I deeply believe that only those who want and are able to give people a feeling of safety and security, preserving at the same time their freedoms and rights, have a mandate to run for power. Under no circumstances can we give away the sphere of security and order to political populists, manipulators, and autocrats who lead people to believe that freedom cannot be reconciled with security, that protecting our borders and territory cannot be reconciled with liberal democracy, and an effective governance with the rule of law. This is the essence of our internal debate within the European People's Party. I would like us to end it as quickly as possible with an obvious conclusion. We will not sacrifice values like civic liberties, the rule of law, and decency in a public life on the altar of security and order, because there is simply no need, because they don't exclude one another. Whoever is unable to accept it is de facto placing himself outside our family. Okay, this is where I will stop. The last thing I want to do is to bore you, especially that one of the greatest threats we face is our routine, newspeak, lack of emotions and boredom. Some time ago, Bono, the famous leader of U2, visited me in Brussels. At some point he said that we would lose if our narrative was not as melodramatic as that of the populists. Let us remember that in politics, impressions are sometimes more important than facts. Look at the migration crisis. I remember when some worked really hard for many days and weeks to contain the wave of illegal migrants from Turkey, negotiating for hours, hundreds of hours, our agreement with Ankara, thanks to which the influx of migrants fell by more than 90%. I don't have to remind anyone the great role Angela played here. However, someone else took care of impressions. Someone who also worked hard, but only on his narrative and self-creation, putting up a fence and billboards with anti-migration propaganda. We must put a stop to this. In a political fight, truth and decency cannot be completely helpless against fake news, manipulation and hate. You must believe in yourself and the power of your arguments. Do not be afraid to say in public what you really feel, even if you may sometimes think it's a dangerous experiment. And you will surely evoke people's emotions and capture their attention. Because, we are sometimes terribly boring in our communication, aren't we? But we don't have to. A few weeks ago, I visited Pope Francis. And I told him that I would stand as a candidate for the president of the European People's Party. He gave me a long look and asked if we would be able to distinguish between populismo and popularismo. I think you know well what he had in mind. If not, please read some of Pope's writings. You are Christian Democrats, after all. As you know, we have a party among us called Partido Popular. I know that not every party may be called popular, but every party in our family can be popular. So let us all stand together on this most important political battlefield. On one side, parties of irresponsible populism. On the other, our party of responsible popularity. After 5 years, I am fed up with being the European bureaucrat in chief. I am ready to fight. And I hope you are too. Thank you. Dziękuję. Hvala lijepo.